in many ways, our democracy has arrived at a point where it's very possible that here in Gauteng, a different government can be in place. It'll be good for the people of Gauteng. And ultimately, where it's absolutely critical is in the fact that our priorities are very simple. We want to create jobs, we want to end corruption, and we want to make sure that, in fact, that we make sure every Gauteng resident is not unjustly taxed for infrastructure rollout that they've already paid for, such as tolling.
A clear-cut plan was presented by the Gauteng Democratic Alliance leader as part of the party's election manifesto outlined in Rosebank on Monday. Maimane didn't mince his words about the likely impact of Julius Malema's Economic Freedom Fighters Party on the DA's campaign to take Gauteng in the upcoming elections.
So what is clear is that firstly, we can't play into politics of populism. Gauteng is far too sophisticated and much more in need of a coherent plan to take the issues forward. That's the first thing. Can we talk about corruption and not separate the leaders from the issues of corruption? Which is a vital issue. So when people go to the polls, they understand that they've got to choose a leader, they've got to choose policy, and they've got to choose their ambitions. In all realities, the people of Gauteng understand that this race, in fact it wasn't, they understand it to be a two-horse race here in Gauteng between the ANC and the DA. And so I'm not anxious about what airtime looks like and how we go about it. Of course, it's a contested space, but it's a space that we must go into.
He also took a jab at the tender committee announced by President Jacob Zuma at the release of the ANC's election manifesto in Mpumalanga at the weekend.
The systematic study of how corruption thrives resides on multiple factors, but one of the key ones is that there must be political change. Because then you can air out institutional problems. And to do that, you need leadership that are committed to doing that. I am not convinced that President Zuma, against the backdrop of Ngandla and Gupta Gate, now has the confidence to simply say, I will lead a charge against corruption. I can't see that happening. Secondly, is that corruption requires strong institutions. You need the institutional capacity to be able to fight those issues. So if you establish a tender board, who mans the tender board? Already, independent institutions in this country have not found an easy ride with the ANC. Ask the public protector. They had a difficult challenge against them. So if you have a challenge against independent institutions, constitutional institutions such as the public protector, I don't know what hope there is for a tender board who could very well be infused with ANC cadres to be able to police the same system. So the discussion about corruption must in fact take us to the ballot box. That's where we will fight corruption.
The DA is set to launch its official manifesto in March. Reinart, Toerien, Eyewitness News, Rosebank.